introduction, I had to slap your ass awake, make you wake up. Wake up! Wake up! Yeah. So, how can I put this? Everybody has an example for you in every way. When I grew up, I opened my eyes. I saw that you can have a dream. I saw an individual every January 20th. I was born in January. So every year, Christmas was about my mother getting education and becoming a master's degree holding nurse. But every January, it was always about me and my brother waiting on God to give it to you, not when you wanted it, but right on time. And maybe because my conditioning is based on a religious foundation, I do not have the same nerve as someone that was conditioned in an environment where it was an apartment or a project or unfortunately a group home without the tools lacking for understanding. I'm not. God bless them, pray for them, enchant them, have empathy for them, apathy, make sure that you have the right type of energy, and they keep the same energy too. Make sure they keep that same energy. But I want to be clear that Martin Luther King is a role model. He should be a role model in any young, black, educated business, philanthropist, entrepreneur life. As society keeps changing and parents are not allowed to discipline their kids, the seeds aren't being sowed. So we use Martin Luther King and Malcolm X as rhetorical statements. But there's actually people who thrive on the ideology of everyone being equal. And when you play that game fairly, I work around a ton of white people. I work around a ton of Caucasians, a ton of Indians, a ton of Chinese, Ni Hao, Sai Jin, Konnichiwa, Hispanic people, Vominos. I am very diverse. But I am diverse because I believe in Martin Luther King. He was the manifestation of our opportunity. He was the key holder to us to be bestowed with the opportunities that we were underserved all this time. We were underserved, we were underestimated, and we were overlooked for years. And with him, Joe Lewis, and others being an advocate for equality, not diversity, equality. Meaning that diversity and inclusion come along with those things as you build equity in those people that you unfortunately overlook. But he took control of the entire room. It wasn't just the man that he was doing business with when he signed that paperwork, but it's all those other Caucasian men that shook his hand and said, how's your congregation doing in church? How's your children doing in church? You really think we can get the appeal of the black masses to listen to us if we work with you, Mr. King? And for some reason, it's okay when you with some nobody rich person that hugs you that you're relevant. So the theory of Martin Luther King taking control of an entire room is gone. If I'm not out here to marginalize my self-interest being around this individual that has no care of equity for your neighborhood, at least these people at that time were putting equity in your neighborhood. They guaranteed King he'd build more churches, he'll put more YMCAs up, he'll build more DMVs. He had an educated conversation with this man. In this generation, you think your self-worth is sitting next to Robert, Nick, Bobby. Who gives a fuck? Who are they? Not even political people. They're just rich people. No. Martin Luther King was a pioneer. He was able to take control of the entire room and speak of his ideology and have a narrative for all people. That's big. That's way bigger. You can bestow people with jewelry. You can bestow people with the best wheels and cars and looks. This man bestowed people with his information to help others. He wowed people that he cared about other people more than himself. He had a dream that individuals could succeed and gather more opportunities if they work together beside each other and dream together along each other. You cannot sell me monkey shit to a great king like Martin Luther King. He was a king. He was able to walk into a room and gather everyone's attention and garner it. And gain traction to take that information and have the rest of his own kind say that he's an Uncle Tom sellout, no good, 3-time and 2-time and father. But his dream came true. Just like Tupac's dream came true. Just like Biggie's Tupac, Arthur Ashe, whoever the fuck dreams came true. And at the end of the day, welcome to Park Place. How can I help you?
My name is Lincoln.
Hey, Lincoln.
I'm with Enterprise.
Enterprise?
Yes.
That's what it is. We need the key.
Yeah, you have one. And I know I'm kind of in the way down.
No, you're perfectly fine.
All right.
This is the key you need, brother.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I just put a battery in it.
Okay.
That was one of the problems.
Okay. I'm going to check it out and see if I can figure something.
Now, one of the other batteries caught fire.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it smelled like a burnt battery.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. So you mean to tell me that I'm being foolish or I'm being some type of radical for giving you that next month on January 20th, Martin Luther King Day will be the inauguration of Donald Trump. So once again, y'all keep saying that you these black men. I wanted to vote for change. I wanted to vote for opportunity. I wanted to vote. All right. I have no care who you voted for. I personally don't give a fuck. I like Trump and I like Kamala Harris. There you go. This election, I actually like both of them. I liked it both of them because they brought energy. They brought people to the polls. So I like the Kamala and I like the Trump. I like politics. I like pork spending bills. I like hearing about the substantiation of the companies and the GDP having growth. So I know what to invest my money in when I do my 401k or I do my diversity packages with all these different platforms out here. I know to pick something pharmaceutical. I know to pick something that has something to do with building and construction or war, etc. So by knowing your current events, it allows you to be like, oh, well, if Kamala is going to be messing with frugality information, then you know what, let me invest my money in people having babies test tubes. This is what people were science. So a lot of people wanted Kamala because she was going to help with the science. A lot of people want Trump because of the cost of fuel. And the cost of fuel can do 3 or 4 things. To pick up that delivery, the company has to put a surcharge on that diesel. If they can lower the cost of the surcharge, that surcharge will lower the cost of the delivery of that produce. By that produce being at a lower cost, it will come to the consumer's table at a lower cost, meaning that that consumer will be able to buy more produce, and that truck driver can bring more produce on a faster chain if the fuel cost goes down. So Trump has that appeal that he wants to bring the energy back into America. You know, energy jobs are American jobs. Think about it. The coal miner. The motherfucker who's diamond digging, gold rushing, blowing up mountains and building tunnels. And who do you think built the superhighway they call, you know, you see Freeway the rapper wear 76. You see all these people from Philly wear the hat 76. Well, ask all those rich motherfuckers, why did they create that highway? And did their grandfathers work on it? Because that superhighway was a tool they used in the North to beat the recession. So when people tell you about 1919, the roaring 20s, and then the Great Depression, in the 1930s, Pennsylvania was creating a superhighway so the other group of people would not be poor. So when Martin Luther King was down here in the South talking about freedom and an ideology of equality, up in the North, blacks were working in the coal mines, working in the steel mills, working in these different environments for lower wages, of course, probably not the best conditions. But when Martin Luther King came,
he gave an opportunity for the boys up north to get in that union. Yeah, because his dream, it rolled downhill. See, shit rolls downhill, like it or not, good or bad. Shit rolls downhill. So this man's over here in Alabama talking about, we need segregation to end. Well, shit, he helping motherfuckers up north get into the steel mills. He's helping motherfuckers get wages that are better than they were. So when you look at a pioneer, there hasn't been one. There hasn't been. You can buy me a Bugatti. He the first one with a Bugatti. All that shit do is sit in your basement and depreciate. This man's statues in Washington, D.C., because he'll never depreciate. He will always gain. Because he's like art. You can put insurance on that shit, and you can borrow from it. You can borrow from Martin Luther King. You can't borrow from that goddamn Bugatti. It depreciated. But that statue, you can always go up to it and borrow some of that investment, that interest that's on that building. Why? Because his speech is still being used. Donald Trump will be inaugurated on Martin Luther King Day. With the irony, Martin Luther King Day will be the day Trump gets in office. So, where is these so-called Malcolms and the so-called Al Sharptons or the so-called Jesse Jacksons of the world? Oh, we know the babies. We know where Dr. Dre is. We heard of Snoop Dogg. He's doing real good on The Voice. He is a great leader of black fatherhood. When you see Snoop, that's how you should see a black fatherhood. Black fatherhood should be a cool dad that he gradually had his movement, and now boom, look at Snoop, he on top of his game. Jadakiss, another great example. See, they give you bubblegum artists. What about the ones that grinded all the way through and now they getting their roses? That's the people that kind of show you how the Vanguard index book goes. You'll have ups, you'll have downs, you'll have ups, and then everything just gets comparable. You just gradually keep going. And then you just take your investment and you just sit there with it. What's wrong with being part of society's ecosystem? There has to be a problem with being, if we are going to allow January 20th to be a day of hate. Oh, I need to protest. Protest what? Protest what? You want to protest your sexual orientation on Martin Luther King Day. You want to protest your sexual orientation on Easter. You want to protest your sexual orientation on Christmas. How are you celebrating something on Martin Luther King's Day and delegitimizing him when the whole reason you have those equalities is because of a black man being able to work the whole room? And that's how you know the argument of arguing is over. People can't argue no more. People can't disagree to agree because they are so consumed on winning the argument, they might as well just say something misleading and disheartening to drive you out of character so you don't stay on program. Ain't nothing bigger than program. Nothing's bigger than the program. Nobody. So everybody's getting excited and want to get their little signs up and they want to go and stand in front of the White House and say something derogatory to a man that Martin Luther King told you. He grew up in a society of bigotry and hate and systemic racism.
Didn't get it yet. I was just seeing, you don't happen to have like a little torch head or anything like that that I could fit in there?
Not up here.
Okay.
Why, you need to reset that box.
I might need to take it apart just to look at the board underneath, because if you look, like, the only thing you could do from here is
Yeah,
take the
take the battery
battery
out.
Yeah, I want to look at the actual board underneath, and I think I need to get in there to do that.
Hold on. Here's a little knife.
I may not have. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I might have come prepared.
I know. I'm a maintenance, so I have this stuff, but I'm in upper garage today, so
Here,
I got my
you.
Xbox.
That's all you need, right?
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I ain't useful today.
No, you're good. I'll figure something out. Thank you.
Yes, sir. At the end of the day, you can't get mad at somebody that's giving you recognition that we had a king. We had a king. Yeah, we did. We had Martin Luther King. We had a king. We had an individual that was able to garner the attention of a whole group, a whole race of people, and provide good, fruitful, intelligent feedback about the everyday living as a minority. And he never excluded the Indians, the Asians, the Puerto Ricans, the Venezuelans, the Argentinians, the goddamn Haitians, etc., etc., etc. He didn't forget about those people. He didn't say anything like the black mentality. He didn't say broke niggas. Martin Luther King was the greatest instigator of all time. Because by him instigating people who lack knowledge or understanding, he was able to garner their attention to react. So you had this KKK, like, what the, this black man over here garnering these people's attention. And you got these people over here. What in the world? The ACLU, like, we finally got a voice that can smooth through the unevenness of the world. And then you got the people in the middle talking about how can we garner that attention to gain traction to win an election. And then it became that. Kanye West is a great example of how you can distort information and garner people's attention and then keep them going to feeding them bits and pieces of reality. He's good at that. Great. But Harriet Tubman didn't fool anybody because at that time, Harriet Tubman was the pioneer of freeing the slaves. So, of course, there wasn't no perfect way to free somebody that's entrapped. So, maybe he can give you an analogy that garners the attention of not just black people, but it was able to garner the attention of Caucasians, Indians, Asians, Hinduism, Jewish people. So therefore, like Martin Luther King, he was able to antagonize your thought process enough to draw you in, to have you speculate, what was it like to be a slave with Harriet Tubman? I bet if you didn't do certain things she did, it gave you an opportunity to think, to expand your horizon, to listen to a lie and then go look it up like, oh, Harriet Tubman freed the slaves. She didn't kill the slaves. But it was an opportunity. Martin Luther King had that ability. When he was able to garner people's attention that did not like black people, white people knew then, he's something special. He can garner the attention of everyone in the room. Not because of some salacious, crazy ass scandal, not some shit. Oh, this motherfucker had sex with a 4-year-old. No. Somebody going around saying I'm H to the no. Didn't do that. Didn't do any of that. So when you start delegitimizing your seeds and you don't fertilize the land right and you don't properly irrigate and water the land, eventually that crop goes bad. And now this type of soil that you're going to have an inauguration on a Freedom Day by the same person that on January 6th, 4 years ago, he antagonized enough people and garnered enough attention they came in and broke into the Capitol. And he gonna free them. The same reparation that King was asking for, these people did something wrong and should be held accountable. It's all in the writing. It's everywhere you go. If you do something wrong, you're supposed to do your time and you pay your debt to society and you're able to come back and be fruitful. They say that all the time. But how come you can break into the biggest symbol in America? That represents the whole United States. The soldiers that's overseas, it represents the goddamn astronauts that's in space. It represents the fuckers that's in the submarines. Okay, there's this place called the Capitol. And that's why they don't have that as a state. That's the District of Columbia. That's the biggest piece of symbolism that we represent as an American. Why you think Abe Lincoln statue's there? Why you think Martin Luther King statue's there? This is the most symbolic territory in American history. Your boy getting inaugurated there on January 20th. after they supposedly said he set up with a group of people to break into the Capitol and persuade the Congress in not doing their due diligence. Whatever that case may be, he pays debt to society. He'll be able to be fruitful again, and now he's the president of the United States of America. But Martin Luther King didn't make it to 40 years old. I seen Murder Mook, you get on the internet, he said he clean, he 40. Congratulations, I'm 42. So I understand already how that feeling is. But you got the microphone in your hand right then and there. You can be like, damn, I made it to 40. God bless Martin Luther King. Because if it wasn't for Martin Luther King, your theological rap metaphor ass would not even be legitimate. It was King's legitimacy to talk into the public and use tens and thous. And that's what garnered the attention of all people. But our attention span has changed. See, they started out with radio. So you had no choice but to sit there like this as a kid and listen to the radio. You had no choice. You couldn't be running around there and smack the shit out you, say, sit down. I'm listening to the radio. Then, as it got better, they had black and white TV. So now you just sitting there and the shit's in black and white. Tom and Jerry, Superman, that shit's in black and white. Then you get older, they got it in Technicolor. See, y'all ain't old enough to see transition anymore. So you don't understand. It took time to go from coax cables to aux cables to HDMI. It took time to go from a 8-track to a reel-to-reel to a 45 to a record to a cassette to a CD. Y'all ain't got none of them obstacles. Y'all straight streaming. Y'all can just go on the internet and say, what happened in 1990? We actually had to go to an encyclopedia. We had to actually go find the right tool to research our atlas. We had to go find shit in a catalog in a library. But we wanted to be intelligent and grab the attention of the people in the room like Martin Luther King. We didn't have a different ideology. We didn't have a thug mentality. We had a king mentality. We had a church condition. We believed in God theory. We loved thy neighbor rules. We were morally sound to see a black man be underneath a white man, but be in his presence beside him. That was actually a thing. Now everybody's sitting back and want to garner some dude that owns PBS. He owns the public broadcasting system. But he ain't just the only motherfucker. So you in bed with somebody who made bad deals with other people too. He ain't perfect. But Martin Luther King was in the room with all the imperfects. He was in the room with all of them. All of them. Not just one. He was in the room with all of them. And he was able to garner their attention. Meaning that no one's perfect. They know there's flaws in this country. But we want to listen to this one black man that got enough sense to want to help all his black people, Asians, persuasions, Mexicans, Hispanics, Latinos. He never spoke down. He uplifted the community. But y'all just want to hang out with one person, and you only garnering one group of attention. Look at it. Boy gets in an argument with his girl. He kills the mama. Where the fuck is he getting this type of mentality from? He's getting this mentality from music that talks about when a motherfucker do me wrong, I just get the gun and go boop, boop. The leadership is all about sound. When is it going to be about representation? When is it going to be about, do you know your rights? Do you understand that you have been afforded these necessities at 64? You've been afforded these entitlements at the age of 18. Did you sign up for the civil servant? So therefore, if something occurs to you, you ain't getting drafted on the pretense that you didn't follow the civil servant's responsibility and do it at 18. You did it because your ass got in trouble and you was the first name on the list because they needed a 21-year-old that was 6'5", 300 pounds. If you do it right the first time, you'll kind of see why we were taught it the right way. I understand they got y'all skipping shit. They got y'all skipping fed time by telling. They got you skipping learning the block by giving it to you when you little instead of giving it to you when you mature and got some type of goddamn common sense. They not giving you the information piece by piece. They giving you the whole enchilada and saying figure it out. You my G, you related to such and such, don't tell. Don't, that's it. Ain't nobody telling you about the tear and making sure it say 00 first. And then, no, motherfucker, you'll figure it out. Ask your friends. So you want the blind to lead the blind. So that's why Martin Luther King was such an epic moment. Because he spoke for my generation, the generation in front of the generation. He was a hypothetical, he was just like Albert Einstein. He was that intelligent, but he did it for blacks, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Asians, Guatemalans, Indian. He didn't single out and say broke niggas. He ain't say a black mentality. For what? Why? When you can go to the Puerto Rican mentality. There's a Puerto Rican mentality. There's an Asian mentality. There's a Caucasian mentality. Why do y'all want to put just black? Martin Luther King helped white people except all people. So why all of a sudden we got to be in line with y'all? How? The baddest nigga in the world was Martin Luther King. He was the baddest black man in American history. Period. You can't name the biggest black man in the... Where else a nigga you know got a statue down D.C.? Think about it. You devaluing yourself and you're not emasculating yourself with the fact that Martin Luther King was the baddest black man in American history. He was the most influential black man in American history. Period. He was the biggest hand up in American history. If we didn't have his thought process ahead of time, you wouldn't have what you have today. You wouldn't have the same civil liberties that you have today. You wouldn't have the same open platform that you have today if it wasn't for one black man garnering the attention of a whole race of people that did not understand why he cared so much when his own people didn't even care about him. And to this day, we still live off of his good givings. There's no one bigger. They can buy the biggest backyard ever. They can have the nicest horses. That's all self. This man did the most selfless act. He rode a bike. He was away from his family at long periods of time. Went to jail. Got bricked non-violent. People said he was a coward for not getting the blicky. And blicky, 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 blicky. Blicky, blicky, huh? He was so influential, they built him a statue. There's no other African American in American history that has a statue in their name. And on January 20th, they're going to have an inauguration of the most divisive individual in American history. And he has no black people standing behind him. Not one. He don't have them in their cabinet. He don't have them in the security detail. Not one black man. Not one. And then he has the nerve to turn around to the MAGA group and say, look, we need more migrants. Funny, he's doing it right on Martin Luther King Day, where that's King's whole analogy, that everyone could be together and live out their life in a dream. He did not single out one group. The irony that someone who's ran on immigrants, divisiveness, is going to be speaking in D.C. where the only black man statue is erected. He don't even have a statue of himself erected in D.C. But on January 20th, when he gets inaugurated, he will have to speak in an environment where a black man helped write history. And y'all sit back and act like you can't. Oh, T.I. is using all those exuberant, exotic, extended words. Good. That's good. Them Southern boys, you know, he went to a black school. He went to Georgia. And they said all the kids that went where he went, Morehouse, they said them black kids were gifted.
Sorry, do you have the other key fob by chance?
This should be in the court. I'm just saying. I don't mean, I know a bunch of great, successful Caucasian men in this American society, and great. But on January 20th, that is the day Martin Luther King will be honored. And that's also the day Trump will be honored. I'm just saying, what a coincidence that no one's taking their civil liberty and taking a chance to say, well, when is he going to put blacks in the administration? When is he going to have more minorities? He wants to what? Depose of the Department of Education. The Department of Education is a broad brush of what Martin Luther King wanted us to have. You know, the same liberties as everyone else. That meant for the broad group of immigrants that come to this country every year. Chinese, Asian, Japanese, Korean, multinationals. You know, you was birther here, but you really from another, you were an anchor child. Well, Martin Luther King's whole analogy of living the dream was for everyone to be part of the ecosystem of America's ideology. All of a sudden, we're going to have an inauguration where we're flat-footed, we're dead on arrival, we're all with picket signs and protesting. But if you go to church every Sunday, you hear what the pastors say. Hate don't work, only love. Once again, those are the core values of Joe Louis, Martin Luther King. Those are the values that they predicated on. You can go to the most racist cities. You can go to the most racist towns. Yes, you can. But you better not go there being disrespectful. Just like they can come to your city and your town. They better not come in your city, your town disrespectful. What do you mean? The only difference is calm down. That was slow to anger was one of his key mantras. Slow to anger. When you hear that King and Inauguration Day are synonymous this year, you should take a step back and really appreciate the fact that the love Jesus had for you as an American, he put you here. He could have put you anywhere else. You could have been in Africa, Venezuela. He put you in a country where Jesus, people, Martin Luther King's people, God's people. That's what Martin Luther King represents, God's people. Martin Luther King was a Christian. He was a man of God. Fornicated, probably had kids out of wedlock. All the Menendez kids in the world going to find something bad to say about Martin Luther King because they think the Menendez kids deserve to be free. Like, you're not old enough to remember what the Menendez brothers did. So you feeling empathy or sympathizing with the monsters is because you ain't old enough to comprehend the perplexity of what they did. You're just old enough to watch what they put on TV and they sensationalize it. Do you ever notice they don't sensationalize the killing of Martin Luther King? They don't sensationalize that. They don't play that over and over again on TV. They don't remind you of a black leader that helped this country mold. He has a statue. What you gonna do? You think Trump gonna get in office and remove the statue? You think he gonna just take the statue and say, you know what? Remove that black man. How? He is the foundation of America's growth. 1964. Go look it up yourself. Go look at how your civil liberties, your civil rights, your life. It's 2024. Who gives a fuck about 1964? You even have uneducated so-called entertainers attacking you, talking about, oh, well, you living in the past, sucker. Yeah, you's a weirdo. We in 2024, but the laws were wrote in 1964 to lock your ass up. So I'm ignorant because you don't understand these old ass laws is the same laws locking you up, but the same rights you had was created around the same time to protect you. So who's the soft individual? You see, y'all attack somebody because they got glasses on. They got a job. You know, they about to retire in 20 years. Y'all, that motherfucker, he a square. He a square. He a square. Martin Luther King was a square, but his square ass saved your family's traditions. All you Puerto Ricans from Fat Joe to Cuban links, all you people got to come to America because there was a man that had a dream. So before y'all get on y'all high horse and talk about the Latinos and the Hispanics and the this and the that, why don't you honor the elder that helped all of us get a better quality of life, a fair wage, can go to work. Our mothers can go to work and not be called out their names or fired for the wrong reasons. See, y'all getting diamonds. Y'all getting Satan's best gifts. But this man only got a statue. He gets statues every few years. They got one that looks like some nuts right now. I guess he's got, Martin Luther King had a sense of humor. You know what I mean? But Martin Luther King garnered the attention of the world. He didn't just garner this genre. He wasn't just rap. He was rock and roll, country, house music, gangster rap, hip hop, jazz, opera, symphony. He was all of that. That's how he got their attention. He was a little bit of goddamn twang music too. He was up there with the banjos. That's how you get people to believe in what you're saying. The first thing Kamala Harris failed is she didn't do dry threats like Trump. Oh, I'm gonna take away taxes. Everybody like, oh, he gonna get rid of taxes. That's it. Yeah. How? We $36 trillion in debt. Get away with the tax breaks. Only thing you're going to get tax breaks to is the wealthy because they got to shelter their money anyway. That's the only people that are going to get a break. Everybody else is going to have to pay more taxes because we're $36 trillion in debt. No, Martin Luther King didn't tell you, make sure you know about the GDP. No, Martin Luther King didn't tell you about remembering the national debt. No, Martin Luther King didn't remind you every goddamn 4 years there's going to be an election. What he told you is that he's going to give you the tools to be able to utilize them to be part of the ecosystem to help the next one move forward. Each one teach one, each one teach one, each one teach one, each one teach one. But no, you have these so-called influencers saying that you're whack, saying that you're less of a character because you don't put on the role of entertainer. I'm not your fucking entertainer. It's like the parent that tries to be their child's friend. I'm not your friend. See, there got to be a reality check. People want to be their kid's friend. I don't want to be my child's friend. Not at all. Not at all. I don't want to be my child's friend. I want to be my child's elevator. I want him to learn from my mistakes and garner the tools he needs to replicate the things I showed him to succeed in this world. But he's not my friend. He is nowhere near my friend. My children aren't my friend. Me and my children are not going to do the same things together ever in life. Not one day at a time. I don't give a damn how old you get. Hey, Dad, what's up? I just want to your ass outside with your age group. There's no respect, so now everybody thinks they got one. I've been in jail. I've seen y'all before. They go to jail. When they free out in the street, their name is Wang Dingo. They slanging stick. They got the Swiss to Day one, they in there poking the bear. Week 3, they knocking on the window gentle saying, can I get a bag of chips? My mom ain't send me no money for commissary. When you a grown-ass man, you got money. You got motherfucking ways to call you bitch if you don't send me my motherfucking food. When you a little boy chasing your tail, how's you gonna get compensated when your mama trying to feed 5, 6 kids? How is you gonna be okay when your mama told you not to do this shit and you did it all right? You did it okay. Oh no, kind of mamas there is out here? It's the white man. It ain't the white man's fault the child climbed into somebody's house through the window with the blinky. There wasn't enough jobs. There's a manufacturing job right next door to your house. Think about it. There's a whole town called New Kensington in Pittsburgh, right? Whole town called New Kensington. Brothers go over there all the time to try to bang out the white girls, and they love it. They're like, I'm going to New Ken, get me a snow bunny. They just love this shit, right? New Ken got jobs all up and down the whole river. New Kensington, that whole 28 got jobs from the beginning of 28 all the way down. All the way down. It's a shithole there. Now the white men, they go get them a nice house, affordable mortgage, good old pickup truck. You know, they got to get that 50, 60,000 The fuck y'all need these pickup trucks for? I'm still amazed. I watched the dude drive a hot water tank around all day yesterday in Pittsburgh. I was behooved. I'm like, why is he riding around with it? Install it. But I'm in the country. That's what they do. He got a job a couple days from now. That's why he got it. Fuck it. What I'm saying is, you trying to keep up with the Joneses, but you grew up looking out your project window. Buy a foreclosed home then. Go down to the Allegheny County office and go to the gold room and go buy you a house then. Go to IBEW and go get you a union book. Go to Route 22 and go get an operator's book. What do you want me to tell you? That's the problem right there. See, Donald Trump, he went to the garbage man jobs. He went to the truck driving jobs. He went to the McDonald's jobs. Kamala went and got people to come to concerts. You love a good show? You love a good show. There's a difference. You love a free show. Martin Luther King wasn't a show. So there was groups of black people be like, he's just an Uncle Tom. He ain't got no clown shit going on. He ain't no show. He ain't no Charleston. He ain't no Hason Campbell. Could you imagine Caucasians talking to a Charleston about the 50 states of black people? Not just Charleston's idea or fixation of, I hate black people, white people. But y'all garner that. Somehow you embrace the unintelligent. That's very unintelligent as a black man to degrade your own people and think that your stature is a real recognizable thing. No, that's how much hate there is. Why do you think people get killed every day on the news? Why do you think people are dying every day for sin? Because people really hate. Because they ain't never been loved. They mama done dropped them on their motherfucking head. She went out and had a threesome. So they don't know what love is. They don't know. So you come out and say, oh, call the police and say your mama stole your food stamps. When would Martin Luther King tell somebody to call and he helped the Department of Health and Education and all that? When would Martin Luther King say something like that? But for some reason, this base wants to be content creators. Okay, content creators, Kai and all you motherfuckers. I know all you. I personally watch enough of y'all that I be giggling inside like, wait till the white man gets you. He gonna treat you just like a because that's what you is. Martin Luther King was in a room by himself. He didn't have Kai. He didn't have Hason Campbell. He didn't have Charleston. He didn't have Jesse Jackson. He didn't have Al Sharpton. It was just Martin Luther King. One black nigga, call him what you want, took advantage of the ears of the whole world. I'm the biggest. Look at my boats. And you know Warren Buffett's like, oh, he is the worst example of economic and redistribution in the city. Do you see Warren Buffett calling that? Nope. No. It would depreciate Berkshire Hathaway stock. Berkshire Hathaway, that's who, see, when you smart, you can't say Warren Buffett no more. You can't say Warren Buffett no more. When you get older and you become an adult, you can't say Warren Buffett. You gotta say Berkshire Hathaway. That's what kind of rich he is. Yeah, y'all listen to his motherfucking music too much. You want some money? Berkshire Hathaway, put your life savings on that shit. I never even heard of it. Go buy some art and go get some insurance on it and borrow off that. What is he talking about? You know, art ain't cheap now. I get shit. If I had some art, I'd be one bad motherfucker. I'd be Picasso D. Pushing D. I don't fuck pushing P because I'm trying to push peace. The capital peace. Not capital pretending. That's PH, lowercase. Perfect. But anyway, Martin Luther King didn't stand in front of the courtroom after he got exonerated and gave his middle fingers. No, he had a dream. He had a dream. He's like, my brand will last forever. I have a dream. Oh, this motherfucker over here talking about he gonna have a dream. Nigga, you wouldn't be who you are today if it wasn't for Martin Luther King garnering the minds and hearts of white people. How we know is on January 20th, Mr. Donald J. Trump will be inaugurated as president again. In a country where you no longer have children appreciating the fact that black lives and all lives matter. It is now, I'm a content creator. You even have the parents who have a low IQ system telling their kids, man, just go and content create. Go on, get that money. Fuck learning how to get a job. Fuck learning how to get constructive criticism. Fuck these people. Fuck them people. Fuck these. Teach them all racism. Because they hide behind a monitor. Because they hide in front of a computer screen. Martin Luther King didn't hide. You know, they be like, yeah, you be in your house hiding. Yeah. Hiding? Listen, Martin Luther King couldn't hide. They knew where that motherfucker lived so much, they took crosses and set him on fire in his front yard. You be outside hiding. You be in the house hiding. Look, it's in his house and they tried to burn it down. You be hiding. I love that one. You be hiding. I'm just saying, you know, you gotta work. You gotta work. I just like the fact that that's now what the new thing is. You think that you're gonna delegitimize somebody to the point where they're gonna quiet. Yeah, this month, oh yeah, well, let's go back in history. So you think because you popular that there wasn't nothing like that in history? You don't think that people who ran the speakeasies in the hood didn't have more popularity than Martin Luther King? You got to be fucking kidding me. You don't think the people who ran the bookies, who ran numbers, wasn't more popular than Martin Luther King? You gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You think the people who had the money in their hand wasn't more influential in the hood than Martin Luther King? He was talking that religious thing. You know, God, thankful, praying, you know, staying away from the things that ain't good for you, promoting well-being and being a cheerful giver, you know, forgive and forget, you know, things like that, moral values. You know, that ain't good enough when, you know, some dude that don't come to your neighborhood, take you to these special parties, you think that's the person you're supposed to tell, man, I would love to open a rec center in my neighborhood. You tell them like the McDonald's story. It's the best example of why you think you losing or don't know why you losing. The same way McDonald's was created. You think these people is your friend and you gonna give them your life story. They got more influence than you, more power than you, and you sit back and you say to them, yeah, man, I just want to be rich one day. Look, man, go ahead and put $200,000 in lids. You know, just go ahead and put 200,000 on it. I promise you, you're gonna get all your money back, man. Just go ahead and put your money in the lids. Hey John, you ever notice that black people all they do is wear baseball hats in all their videos? Yeah. Hey John, let's invest in lids. You said it already. I came from nothing. I just need a helping hand. What could I do? Hey dude, just wear the hats, man. Hey, just everywhere you go, man, just wear hats. We don't even care if it's giving you a receding hairline. Just wear the hat. Yeah, dude, man, you're the man. 10 years later, you get your peel off. That's how they win it. How you think Napalm Steel is getting the advantage now over the base of people who say, oh, I don't want to sell the steel to... No, look, he said he's going to give them $5,000 a piece and they guarantee the job. Motherfuckers is losing their job every day. Don't you think you would say, hell yeah, sell that steel company to another company if they're going to give you $5,000 and you keep your job? Or else what? You lose it. Oh, well, yeah, hell yeah, sell that shit. Who do you think you talking to? You talking to somebody who don't work. Nigga just waking up right now, looking at his phone. Hell, motherfucker called me 15 times. Somebody called you 15 times for $15 and you missed it? So you missed 15 calls for $15 and you complaining. Wonder why you broke? 15 different people called you for $15 and you still sleep. You wonder why you broke. You wonder why you getting pulled during peak time instead of working on off-peak time. You wondering why there's sobriety checks and shit during off-peak time, but there ain't no sobriety checks during peak time. You don't understand the two, off-peak and on-peak, because they took that vocabulary away from you. They took you having a Martin Luther King mentality away from you. They took that from you and then instead gave you dangerous. And well, look, dangerous is a very fruitful business. Oh yeah, nobody says don't be dangerous. Who said it? Smith and Wesson ain't say it. The Bulletproof Company that makes flak jackets, they ain't saying it. Oh, you know who else ain't saying it? The commissary companies that facilitate jails. And you know who else ain't saying it? The people that work at jails, the people that build jails, and the people that own jails. No one said don't be dangerous. Where does it say in the Bible the lion got to calm down? Jesus said that on Tuesday, the lion must chill. Where does it say that? So, you know, you in a hard rock in a hard place, you know, because, you know, Peter's cutting off ears. Jesus said, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. The fight is not yours, and put the man's ear back on his head. That's how it could be. You could be dangerous. Live dangerous. Not curious. Do you? Do you? But don't get disappointed when you find out a sin's a sin. No one's greater, equal, lesser. If you sin, you sin. Man, God, just this one more time. Just let me sin. Just this one more again. And you're like, man, that dude never gets caught in his sin. He never gets repercussions for it. Well, while you retired from your job, come to find out he got Alzheimer's and dementia, and he don't even have Social Security to take care of himself because he never worked. Because he wanted to be cool and listen to the masses and be a lame if he get a job. So now he on the street the rest of his life with his pants hanging off his ass with a shoestring because he wanted to fit in with the people that didn't have a plan. And that's sad when Martin Luther King died for you to have a dream.